before college, I didn't really think about other Black people. Like, this is one thing that I kind of gets on my nerves about African Americans nowadays when we talk about like things on a global scale. We tend to be very American because we center everything around ourselves. Like, when we think of Black people, we're talking about us, like, period. Nobody else can be Black. It's crazy.
Yeah, like Africans or not now as much, but growing up, definitely. Like,
it's not even just Africans. It was like Africans, Jamaicans, Caribbeans. If you're from Belize, if you're from Brazil, like if you're Dominican, like the thought of somebody else being Black.
Dominicans and Haitians are
different
is the
it blows. Yeah, that's crazy. But like African Americans, we like tend to think we're the only Black people. So when somebody says the Black experience, you center yourself. And like I remember somebody got mad. They're like, I'm in Ghana and these people don't know anything about slavery. Like, how horrible. And I'm like, do you know anything about Ghana? No.
Right.
And you're there. They didn't come to your country. You came to theirs, and you're mad that they don't know your history, that they didn't teach it in their schools. Like, they didn't know based like, oh, you know, slaves. But you expect them to know all of this stuff about you, but you don't know anything about their country, and you went there. It's very American.
I had a weird, because France has an interesting dynamic with that, you know, because but they're multicultural. But, you know, talking to a few people, like, they would consider themselves French before they would, like, they don't really say, like, I'm Black or I'm African. They're just French, which is an interesting, like, psychological thing going on with that. But also...
because French treats them like they're Black.
Well, yeah, like, you know...
I disagree with that whole
and then another thing was, like, it was so weird. When we went to Italy, everyone spoke French to us initially. Like, they thought we were French. I don't know why that was.
I don't know. But so I went into college, like, kind of just thinking like that, like, Blackness is Blackness. So I get there, and like I said, I went to a top college. So when you go to higher level colleges, that's when you meet different Black people, especially. Right. Like, then I'm meeting people who are from Cameroon. This is people from, you know, different places in Africa, different places in South America, everywhere, because this is like a top school and people want to go here. So it's like my friends and I have like a core group of girlfriends, and like, you know, a couple of us are African American, one's Dominican, one's Bayesian, one's from Cameroonian, she's half Cameroonian and half Ghanaian. So it's like we're all in this group, and it's because like everybody at my school, we didn't have the luxury of separating into cultures. Right. It was like, we're all the Black kids sitting at the table, and this Black kid is half South African and half white, and this Black kid is Ethiopian, and this Black kid. So it's like our classmates who were mostly white, like, they didn't know that we had totally different cultural backgrounds and experiences. Like, I remember us having a conversation, like the race conversation we had to have, and I was trying to explain that there are different kinds of Black people, and like that blanket African American term may not necessarily be correct, and they didn't get it. Meanwhile, I'm talking with another girl, and she's Jamaican with a whole Jamaican accent, and they still wanted to call her African American. I'm like, she's not American. It was the weirdest thing, but I think that was when my mind opened even to the different types of Blackness, because there were so many different kinds of people with totally different experiences.
That's a good point.
But they looked like me. So that was kind of when I started.
And the culture's completely, well, not completely, but very different. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm. I mean, there are some things that kind of connect through, but
there are some things.
The hatred of us by white people.
Or even the lateness thing. I don't know what that is.
Colorism.
That seems to be a colored thing. Like, we can't be on time for stuff. I try really hard. Like, they call it African time. And then, like, when I was in Brazil, I was in Bahia, which is mostly Black. And it's like, I remember our friend's like, yeah, you know, meet me here at 2:30. So I got there at 2:30. And he's like, I called him. He's like, oh, yeah, I just got out of the shower. And I'm like, what?
I heard about that.
He just thought it was like,
yeah, it's
what?
like that.
Like, why are you so rigid on like the time structure?